We've melted the binder in and now it's cooled. The first step that we'll want to do is just very lightly cork it to smooth it out. We don't want to drag the wax out of the kick zones, so make sure that at the edges you're really careful, but just light, even pressure here with the binder is really important. With the harder waxes, you can really push down quite a bit with the cork, but on the binder, we really want to almost just let the weight of the cork do the work and just smooth over that top layer. We really want to avoid dragging that binder, sticky binder wax out of the kick zone, because that's going to slow down the wax application quite a bit. Once we've done that binder, we're going to go to the kick wax of the day. Kick waxing can be challenging, especially around freezing, but what we want to do is, again, hopefully be able to keep it simple. Always what we're going to do is layer over our base wax. We'll apply between 2 and 7 layers depending on the skis, depending on the conditions, but we'll apply thin layers on top of the wax for the wax of the day. One trick to kick waxing that's really valuable is that we're going to alternate layers of softer waxes and harder waxes. The softer waxes tend to be stickier and for wetter temperatures, and a lot of times we'll get icing when we use these softer waxes. So the trick there is that we'll put our base layer down, which is a fairly hard wax. We'll put several layers of the softer wax of the day, and then at the top we'll put just a really thin shell of a harder wax, which will keep the snow crystals from sticking to that soft wax, but still give you the kicking power of the soft wax. To apply kick wax, there are some really good tricks. It takes a light touch, so we don't want to press really hard and get huge globs of wax. We want to have a nice, smooth, even, thin application. To do that, really light pressure. Take the kick wax tin and have it at a slight angle. Move the kick wax before you press it down to the base, and then just gradually increase the pressure. So it's almost like painting it on. But when done correctly, you get a nice, smooth, even layer, and that makes the corking in between the application really easy. It makes a faster application, and it actually gives you more grip, because if you have a bunch of lumps of wax in here, that actually reduces the surface area that's contacting the snow, because those bumps of wax are holding the rest of the wax off of the snow. So we want this to be as smooth as possible to get the most surface area contact with the snow. So I've applied this and it's nice and smooth. Again, just really light with the cork. If we've applied the wax correctly, this is really easy. And you can see we get a nice smooth application very quickly. We'll put multiple thin layers on, and again, this will depend on the snow conditions a little bit and your skis. If you have a really soft pair of skis, you'll have fewer layers. A stiffer pair of skis might take a few extra layers. If you're doing a longer race, you might need more layers. You really have to kind of play with that to determine what works best. But we're going to apply between 2 and 5 of these layers of the wax probably. If we're out on the course and we start skiing and this wax of the day is close but needs to be a little bit freer, what we can do is take the next level colder wax and put a thin shell on top of it. So again, to speed up the wax or keep the wax from icing, we're going to go back to a harder wax. And again, here what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're putting a shell over the top of this wax, not just mixing it all in. So we want to have just a nice light touch to apply this on top. And again, we're not trying to mix the wax in when we're corking it for this top layer. We want to just barely touch it and make it smooth so that it's a hard shell on top of the wax. It's usually smart, especially if you're waxing inside, you've just used an iron, put the ski outside in the cold for a little bit before you go. Let the wax cool down and really adhere to the base. But we're ready to go, and this should be a nice, fast kick wax application with good grip. So that's how you kick wax your classic skis. I'm Nathan Schultz with Boulder Nordic Sport. Make sure you check out our other videos and our website at bouldernordic.com.